Welcome to our video on delivering powerful speeches. Did you know that public speaking is often ranked as the #1 fear, even above death? According to a study by the National Institute of Mental Health, 75% of people experience anxiety about public speaking. But here's the kicker: mastering this skill can skyrocket your leadership impact. Imagine standing in front of a crowd and not just speaking, but inspiring. Your words have the power to motivate, influence, and lead. Studies show that leaders who speak well are seen as 25% more competent. Yet, many don't realize the simple techniques that can transform their speeches. In this video, we will share 6 tips that go beyond the basics. You'll learn how to craft compelling stories, use body language effectively, and employ vocal variety to keep your audience engaged. We'll also dive into the art of rhetorical devices, the importance of strong openings and closings, and how to turn anxiety into authenticity. Stay tuned, because these tips aren't just for the seasoned pros. They are for anyone who wants to enhance their leadership through public speaking. Let's unlock the secrets to delivering speeches that leave a lasting impact. Chapter 1. Mastering the art of storytelling. Storytelling is an essential skill for any leader who wants to connect with their audience. It's not just about relaying information, it's about making people feel something. Great leaders like Steve Jobs and Nelson Mandela used storytelling to inspire and motivate. Did you know that people are 22 times more likely to remember a fact when it's wrapped in a story? That's according to Jennifer Aaker, a marketing professor at Stanford University. Start with a personal anecdote that ties into your main message. This makes your speech relatable and human. For example, if you're talking about perseverance, share a time when you faced a significant challenge. Your story should have a clear beginning, middle, and end. The beginning sets the stage, the middle introduces the conflict, and the end delivers the resolution. Use vivid imagery to paint a picture in the minds of your audience. Instead of saying, "It was a tough time," say, "I felt like I was climbing a steep mountain with no end in sight." This makes your story more engaging and memorable. Also, incorporate sensory details. Describe what you saw, heard, smelled, and felt. This immerses your audience in your experience. Make sure your story has a lesson or moral that ties back to your main point. For instance, after sharing your story of overcoming a challenge, conclude with, "This experience taught me that persistence is key to success." This reinforces your message and gives your audience something to ponder. Another effective technique is the use of metaphors and analogies. They simplify complex ideas and make them more relatable. For example, compare a company's growth to a tree that needs nurturing to flourish. This visual analogy helps people understand abstract concepts. Lastly, practice your storytelling. Rehearse in front of friends or family and ask for feedback. Pay attention to their reactions and refine your story accordingly. Remember, practice makes perfect. Chapter 2. Harnessing body language for impact. Body language is a powerful tool that can enhance or undermine your message. According to a study by UCLA, 55% of communication is nonverbal. This means your gestures, facial expressions, and posture are crucial in conveying your message effectively. Start by maintaining good posture. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. This not only makes you appear confident but also helps project your voice better. Avoid crossing your arms, as it can make you seem closed off. Instead, keep your hands open and relaxed. Eye contact is another critical aspect of body language. It helps build a connection with your audience and shows that you're engaged. Aim to make eye contact with different people throughout the room. This makes each person feel like you're speaking directly to them. Gestures can also enhance your speech. Use your hands to emphasize key points. For instance, if you're talking about growth, move your hands upward. If you're discussing a challenge, show the size or complexity with your hands. However, avoid overdoing it. Too many gestures can be distracting. Your facial expressions should match the tone of your message. If you're sharing an inspiring story, smile. If you're talking about a serious issue, show concern. This alignment between your words and expressions makes your message more authentic. A unique fact: research by Princeton University found that when speakers use expressive gestures, their listeners have higher levels of understanding and retention. This means your audience is more likely to remember your message if you use effective body language. Practice in front of a mirror or record yourself to observe your body language. Make adjustments as needed. You can also watch speeches by great leaders and note their body language techniques. Mimic what works for them and make it your own. Chapter 3. The Science of Vocal Variety. Your voice is a powerful tool. Using it effectively can make your speeches more engaging and persuasive. Research shows that vocal variety can significantly impact how your message is received. According to a study published in the Journal of Voice, variations in pitch, pace, and volume keep listeners engaged and improve comprehension. Start by varying your pitch. A monotonous voice can quickly lose an audience's attention. For instance, raise your pitch to show excitement and lower it to convey seriousness. This keeps your speech dynamic and interesting. Pace is another critical element. Speaking too fast can overwhelm your audience, while speaking too slowly can bore them. Mix it up. Slow down when making important points to give your audience time to absorb the information. Speed up during less critical parts to maintain a lively tempo. Volume control is equally important. A louder volume can emphasize key points, while a softer tone can draw your audience in. For example, you might raise your voice to highlight a major achievement and lower it to share a personal anecdote. This contrast keeps your audience on their toes. Incorporate pauses strategically. Pauses can add dramatic effect and give your audience time to reflect. For instance, after posing a thought-provoking question, pause to let it sink in. According to public speaking expert Carmen Gallo, silence is one of the most powerful tools a speaker has. Practice your vocal variety by reading aloud. Record yourself and listen for areas where you can improve. Try mimicking the vocal styles of speakers you admire. TED Talks are a great resource for this. Notice how the best speakers use their voices to enhance their messages. Remember, your voice is an instrument. Like any instrument, it requires practice to master. Warm up your voice before speaking to ensure clarity and strength. Simple exercises like humming or lip trills can make a big difference. Chapter 4. Engaging the audience with rhetorical devices. Rhetorical devices are powerful tools that can make your speeches more persuasive and memorable. These techniques have been used by great orators for centuries. Aristotle, in his work, Rhetoric, outlined the importance of ethos, pathos, and logos in effective communication. Let's explore some modern rhetorical devices you can use. Metaphors and analogies simplify complex ideas. They help your audience understand abstract concepts by comparing them to something familiar. For example, likening a company's strategy to a chess game can illustrate the importance of planning and foresight. Studies show that metaphors can enhance understanding and retention by up to 20%. Alliteration is another engaging device. Repeating the initial consonant sounds in a series of words can make your message more rhythmic and memorable. For instance, lead with logic, listen with love, is catchy and easy to remember. Rhetorical questions are effective for engaging your audience. They prompt listeners to think and connect with your message. For example, asking, "Do we want to leave a legacy of innovation or stagnation?" can provoke thought and emphasize your point. Antithesis highlights contrasts to make a point. By placing opposite ideas side by side, you can create a powerful effect. John F. Kennedy famously used this device. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. This technique can make your message more compelling. Repetition is key to emphasis. Repeating a key phrase or idea can reinforce your message. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech is a classic example. The repeated phrase made the speech more powerful and unforgettable. Incorporate anecdotes to illustrate your points. Personal stories or case studies make your message relatable and concrete. For example, share a success story from your experience to underscore a leadership principle. Quotations from reputable sources can add authority to your speech. Citing a well-known figure like Winston Churchill or Maya Angelou can lend weight to your message. Choose quotes that align with your theme and resonate with your audience. Finally, practice using these devices in your speeches. Experiment with different techniques to see what works best for you. Over time, you'll find your unique style and voice. Chapter 5. Crafting a strong opening and closing. The opening and closing of your speech are crucial. They set the tone and leave a lasting impression. Research by the University of California shows that people remember the first and last parts of any presentation the best. So, let's make them count. Start with a hook. Your first few sentences should grab attention. You could use a surprising fact, a provocative question, or a powerful quote. For instance, did you know that 75% of people fear public speaking more than death? This startling statistic immediately engages the audience. Tell a short, compelling story that relates to your main point. Stories are a great way to connect emotionally with your audience. They make your message personal and memorable. For example, share a brief anecdote about a pivotal moment in your leadership journey. Pose a thought-provoking question. This invites your audience to think and engage from the start. For example, what would you do if you had no fear? This question can set the stage for a discussion on overcoming challenges. Use a quote to lend authority to your message. Choose a quote that aligns with your topic and resonates with your audience. For instance, as John Quincy Adams said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more and become more, you are a leader. For your closing, summarize your key points succinctly. Reinforce the main message of your speech to ensure it sticks. For example, remember, storytelling, vocal variety, and engaging rhetorical devices can transform your public speaking. End with a call to action. Encourage your audience to apply what they've learned. For instance, I challenge each of you to use these techniques in your next presentation and see the difference it makes. Use a powerful quote to conclude. A memorable quote can leave a lasting impression. For example, as Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Consider ending with a personal story that reinforces your message. A strong, personal anecdote can leave your audience with a positive impression. For example, share a success story that highlights the impact of effective public speaking. Finally, thank your audience. A simple thank you shows appreciation and leaves a positive note. For example, thank you for your time and attention. I look forward to seeing how you'll apply these strategies. Chapter 6. Turning Anxiety into Authenticity. Public speaking can be nerve-wracking. But did you know that even seasoned speakers feel anxious? According to a survey by Chapman University, 73% of people have some level of fear of public speaking. The key is to turn that anxiety into authenticity. First, acknowledge your anxiety. It's natural to feel nervous, and accepting it can be liberating. As Mark Twain said, there are two types of speakers: those who are nervous and those who are liars. Use deep breathing techniques to calm your nerves. Deep breathing slows your heart rate and helps you relax. Try inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, and exhaling for 4 counts. Repeat this a few times before speaking. Transform nervous energy into enthusiasm. Channel your anxiety into positive energy that can make your delivery more dynamic. Visualize your excitement about sharing your message. This shift in perspective can make a huge difference. Prepare thoroughly. Knowing your material well can boost your confidence. Practice your speech multiple times until you feel comfortable. Rehearse in front of a mirror, record yourself, or present to friends and family. Focus on the message, not on yourself. Remind yourself why you are speaking and what you want your audience to gain. This outward focus can help reduce self-consciousness and anxiety. Use positive self-talk. Replace negative thoughts with encouraging ones. Instead of thinking, "I'm going to mess up," tell yourself, "I'm prepared and I've got this." Positive affirmations can build your confidence. Embrace authenticity. Authentic speakers connect better with their audience. Be yourself and share your true feelings and experiences. Your audience will appreciate your honesty and vulnerability. Remember that mistakes are okay. Even the best speakers make errors. If you stumble over a word or lose your place, take a deep breath and continue. Your audience is more forgiving than you think. Visualize success. Before you speak, imagine yourself delivering a successful speech. Visualization can boost your confidence and reduce anxiety. Picture the audience's positive reactions and your sense of accomplishment. Lastly, seek feedback and keep improving. After your speech, ask for constructive feedback. Use it to refine your skills and build your confidence for future presentations.